I'm heading out on tour with Natalie Imbruglia in the coming weeks, and this is how I've built my Helix Stadium rig for the live shows. I'll break down the amps and effects for what I'm using for the song Torn, and then I'll play the song all the way through. So the guitar that I used previously is the Gibson 335, which is a stunning guitar, but I fancied a little change this year and I thought I'll go with my Duesenberg Paloma, which I love so much. One of the reasons is because it has single coils, which is the sound that I want for cleaner tones. And also I'm a big fan of the tremolo bar, which adds another expression to my playing. I previously used the Kemper, which I've been doing for 12 years and it's been absolutely incredible, but recently got my hands on the Helix Stadium and I just felt it's time for me to have a bit of an upgrade. And I have to say I've been really enjoying it. The ease of use and being able to see all the effects visually, and plus it sounds amazing. So I had to redial all the sounds that I already programmed in Kemper into my Helix Stadium, and I thought I'll showcase why I've kind of chose the amps and effects that I have. The other piece of gear which I'll be taking with me, as well as the guitar and effects board, the Helix, is IEMs. I recently changed to the ACSs and you know what, these guys have been so good and so supportive, and these have really helped me hear things a lot better. It's pretty essential actually for the stuff that I do to have really good IEM. So ACSs, I really recommend them. My live rig is pretty simple and everything is built for consistency, fast changeovers and zero stress. The crew love it because they don't have to lug around big amps and pedal boards anymore. It's just pretty much plug and play. The front of house love it because the sound is consistent from venue to venue. And I pretty much pre-mix the show into my modeler. So really they just have to tweak a little bit from venue to venue. They just know what they're getting. So I'll just go from the left to right with my rig. This has kind of become my preset now for my live rig. As you can see, I named Torn, which is the song, as anyone who knows Natalie Imbruglia will know the song Torn. It's pretty huge in the 90s. I put F because the song is in the key of F and just helps me remind me roughly where to put my hands basically. To start off with, I have a compression. It's nothing too crazy, it's just to level out all the dynamics going in. I'm a big fan of volume swells, so I got a volume pedal, which is yes, assigned to this pedal by default. I have a feedbacker. It's currently not on, but very occasionally I want to hold a note and just let it squeal. So I just have it in there so it's kind of ready to go, but I'll probably use it once or twice in a set if I really want to sustain the note and make the guitar scream basically. So here I have 3 different drive blocks going and I mix and match depending on what song it is, but like I say, it's a preset, so I'll just load this up for every song and I'll tweak it to adjust for each song basically. So first I have a kinky boost, and then I have a prize drive, and then a compulsive drive. To boost up the gain, I just keep stacking my drives. I normally don't have one drive to do all the gain work for me, But so my guitar without any of the drives is just the edge of breakup really. So if I play lightly, and then if I just flip to bridge pickup, you can really hear the drives come through. So if I start stacking up the drives, just turn the reverb and delays off so you can really hear it. That's the first drive, and if I stack it, so that's the second drive, and then this one is a bit more, yeah, definitely push it to like kind of solo gain level. That's probably, with all three, will be my solo tone. Yeah, it's pretty high gain and does the job. Turn the gains off. So, and then next I have some modulation. What do I have here? I have a chorus. So for live shows, in my mind, it's better to have your modulation and delays in mono. If you're having stereo delay and modulations, only a small percentage of the audience, which is standing right in front of between the speakers and by the front of house, only they can really feel the effects of it. So I don't really see much point in having stereo, and quite often it causes phase issues. I did have stereo chorus before and it did get lost in the mix sometimes. Up next, I have a tremolo. Does the job, and I've kept it on triangle. I find that sounds the most natural to me. There's lots of different wave shapes. So, but I prefer triangle. Next up, I have a delay. I decided to run the delay into the amps, just how you would if you had a pedal board basically. So the amp processes the delay and the modulation effects, which I really like. This is quite an exciting bit next. For the first time ever, I'm running dual amps. I have it going to a Vox AC30, there you go, nice little image there, a Vox AC30, and also, yeah, a Fender US Deluxe. And I really love the combination of the two. So for demonstration purposes, so if I turn down, I think the first one say, if I turn down the lower one, you'll just hear the Vox. Just turn the delay off. So you'll just hear the Vox. So that's just the Vox, and if I switch them, and now you just have the Fender. They're both, this one's a bit cleaner, the Vox was the edge of breakup. But the combination of them both rich. For first time ever, I'm able to run dual amps because the Kemper you couldn't do that. And I'm running into cab, which to be honest is kind of by default. Chose a couple of cabs which I thought sounded great with the amps, and I didn't mess around with it too much. Next I have the reverbs. Contradictory to what I said about stereo effects, with reverbs I'm happy to keep them stereo because they're just a feeling really. In my experience, they don't create too many phase issues. So first off with the room, I constantly have it on. It just really helps it, give it a bit more of an amp feel really. So without it, it's super dry, and then with it, just gives it some air and makes it feel like the mic is, is miking up the amp, which I really love. And then this is my longer reverb, which, what do I have here? Dynamic call. I think it's one of those new Algora kind of models of the reverb, and it sounds rich, lovely. I got reasonably long tail, 4.9 seconds. Again, I kind of tweak it depending on what song. This is actually quite short for the song because Torn doesn't require that long reverb. But I have some reverb swells right at the beginning of the song, so I just kind of whack the delay on as well. I normally would do that with a volume pedal as well, but currently my Helix is on my desktop, so I'll just do it with the volume knob so you can really hear the sound of it. And finally, I have a boost, which is a graphic EQ. I haven't touched the EQ. I've been using it just, as you can see here, a +2, or it should be really +3 volume boost actually. So I'll save that. And but I put it on an EQ just in case if I do want to add a bit of treble to the lead playing. The option is there. That is my template rig that I'm using for the live show. One reason why I switched to the Helix Stadium is because of the showcase feature. I would love to automate all my pedal switches and reduce the time that I'm glued to the pedal board, because I really enjoy performing and jumping around stage. And if it does it for me, that's brilliant. And the Helix Stadium showcase for the first time is able to open those opportunities without running an Ableton backing rig that I need to control. So I've loaded the WAVs from the live show into it. As you can see, it's in song mode. So I have the BVs, the guitars, the music, and the lead vocals. I have 4 stems there running. For copyright purposes, I'm going to mute the Natalie Imbruglia's lead vocal. As you can see here, I started making these markers. I won't go through how you make them because I'm sure there's lots of other videos on how you do that. But these markers, the green markers are to mark the sections. As you can see, CH1, that's chorus 1. This one's pre-1, pre-chorus 1. And the yellow markers changes my snapshots for me. So the song goes on, if I click these yellow markers, you can see that it's changing. That says snapshot 5, or I go to this one's snapshot 3. As the song plays, it does, my pedal changes for me, and through the song, when I do the song playthrough, you'll be able to see the stomps change itself. That is brilliant in practice, but I've come across a few, I hope they're bugs and they will be fixed. I've noticed there is a bit of latency when the playhead crosses the marker, and it doesn't, even though I put the marker on the beat, it's a few milliseconds that the stomp finally changes. The green marker there is on the beat and it goes into chorus 3, and I actually programmed it so it changes to snapshot 2. The green markers mark the section, but also you can tell it to change your snapshot. But I had to put another snapshot marker to change it a few milliseconds before the beat comes in, because there is a bit of latency. So there's a bit of a workaround, but ideally I wanted to change on the beat without latency, so I don't have to put extra markers. So we have an Ableton backing track running with a click, and the way I want to use it is I get it counting in my ear, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 1 again I stomp on my Helix Stadium and I run the backing track in tandem to the Ableton track in my ear, so all my markers will do all my pedal switches for me. There's quite a big latency when I press play on the Helix Stadium, and it makes it impossible for me to press it in time, even though I am physically pressing it in time to the count-in, but the Helix Stadium track comes in like quite a few milliseconds afterwards, so it's always a bit of a delay. I managed to find a bit of a workaround by starting the very first marker on the showcase quite a few milliseconds later, so that should be 0. So in the ideal world that should be start on bar 1, beat 1 and first tick, but because of the delay, I found the workaround I found is to start that 100 ticks later, or start at 100 ticks into the track, and that kind of cancels out the delay a little bit. And that's fine when I'm practicing right now, but I'm not sure if I trust this in the live environment at the moment. Unfortunately, I feel I have to wait a little bit before all this is sorted. I actually filed a report to Helix Line 6 and see if there's something they can resolve, because it would be amazing if it actually switched in time as soon as I stomp it without the latency. So hopefully they'll address that, because it is the very first firmware that Showcase is revealed, and they still got quite a few things to iron out. But for now, I'm going to play it safe and I'm going to do the stomp changes old school way by stomping on it, and the snapshots, to be honest, make it pretty easy, because I could do multiple switches with just one stomp, just how you could with the Kemper. But for demonstration purposes of this video, I thought it would be fun to showcase how I ideally would love to use this for the live shows by trying to trigger the Showcase in tandem to the backing track, which I have just on Logic right now. Hopefully, with everything that I programmed, with the delay ticks and everything, if I stomp at the right time, it'll run in tandem and do all my switches for me. So wish me luck. So I'll be doing volume swells here with the pedal. I'll just do it with the volume knob now. In this first verse, will be our rhythm guitarist Louis, who also plays keys. He'll be playing acoustic guitar, and I come in for a pre-chorus, so he'll be doing some like and I come in here. it's like... You get the idea. I won't do all of it. Coming up. I hope you enjoy this little video. I'm currently building up all the songs for the live show, and I thought it would be a cool way to document how I'm doing it. Like I said, I'm going to be keeping it old school for now and just manually stomp on the changes myself. But with future updates, hopefully they sort out the latency issues with the showcase and I'm able to use it how I want by stomping once at the very start and then it triggering it all for me. Other features which I hope they implement in the future is, at the moment you're able to recall the presets when you select the song, when you're doing the song playlist mode, but not the other way around. I think I would like to run my live shows through presets as opposed to songs, because not every song that I do requires a backing track. So I hope they're able to make that reversible as well. Also, when you're in song playlist mode, the song auto plays. So at the moment I'm in Torn, but if I select a previous song, say the other song that I programmed, Wishing I Was There, I want everything to kind of load up, but I don't know how, unless I'm being dumb, I don't know how to get to that song without playing it really. So if I just select the song, it starts playing, which I don't want it to. I just want everything to load up and for me to choose when for the song to start playing. I'm really excited with what Line 6 is developing here. I think generally all the modelers sound amazing, and for me it is a kind of better quality of life improvements like Showcase. And if you're musical directing, which I do sometimes, it really does open this whole new world to me now and reduce the amount of gear I need to take on tour, like a whole laptop. With Ableton anymore, I could just load all the stems onto here and then press play and control the whole live show. That's really awesome. It's a lot of work for me to reprogram all the songs to my live sets, not just Natalie Imbruglia, but for my other projects. But I have to say, I'm having a lot of fun just playing with the touch screen, which I've never had before, and just discovering new sounds and learning about amps, because the Stadium is really educational. I hope you guys enjoyed geeking out on the Helix Stadium as much as I have. I have other videos talking about tips on doing what I do. That's helped me become full-time session musician for the last 20 years, and also struggles that I've had with. So if you enjoy this video, feel free to check them out, and I'll see you soon.